Hello guys and welcome to the top 10 worst games of 2023. Unfortunately, there were a lot of them this year, more than I was even able to play. One caveat here is I was not able to play the day before. I mean, you only had like a 4-day period to even buy the game and then it wasn't available anymore, and I missed my mark on that one. I was busy with other things, but we did play a lot of bad games this year, unfortunately. I wish there was a year where we didn't have to make a worst games list because every game was at least decent to great, but that'll never happen because some game publishers suck. So without further ado, these are my top 10 worst games of 2023. At number 10, I have Gangs of Sherwood, a game set in the world that is inspired by Robin Hood. An idea that I thought could have been cool if done right, but as it turned out, it just wasn't. This was one of the most boring games I played this year, as you will just mindlessly button mash over and over again for about 4 to 6 hours. The saving grace is if somehow you got a team of 3 or 4 together, if you can convince them to buy the game, you will just walk through every level no problem, as there just doesn't really seem to be any kind of difficulty spike in co-op mode. When I played the game, the friends-only lobbies just didn't even work properly. It would only work on the public lobbies, so even if you sent it to friends-only, it wouldn't let you invite a friend. You had to go to the public lobbies, and then invite the friend, and then you can move it back to friends only, but then it still wouldn't be friends only because you invited in public lobbies, so you were forced to be in public lobbies. And so, if you wanted to play a game with your friend, and your friend alone, too bad, because other people will be joining.
What if I set it to public? Does that change anything? I mean, that means random people will join us, which I don't want, but what does that change? Hosting game. Okay. I love to be hosting a game. It says that, okay? I see a little thing, it says hosting game. Let me invite people! There we go. Thank you for listening to me.
What the fuck?
The game was scared, bro. The game was scared.
Who's Brad?
Oh my god! Brad, bro! Get out my life, Brad!
The checkpoints weren't even real checkpoints. If you die or you and your co-op partner dies, you will have to play the entire mission over again, which is pretty much the opposite of what a checkpoint is supposed to do. A checkpoint is supposed to save progress. Now, this checkpoint does give you some health every time you find one, but a checkpoint that doesn't actually save anything is pointless in my opinion. The idea of this game could have been something so good, but instead they decided to half-ass it and do the bare minimum. Although the game did turn on some of the side bosses, though.
Pull its nose ring. Slap its dick.
It put its dick out on the table for us. Pull its dick ring.
Hooray.
We defeated the ram's dick.
This could put you away for a very, very long time. You have so much
potential. I can do so much more with my life. I'm a smart girl with a bright future.
I was going to say you have so much anger and resentment in you, I'm not sure you'll ever amount to anything at all. Truth hurts.
At number 9, I have Forspoken, a game I was actually super excited for when they first showed it off a few years ago. I thought the traversal looked awesome during that reveal when it was still known as Project Athia. And while I did still enjoy the traversal of Forspoken, it wasn't even close to what the trailer was showing off. The characters in the game were boring, trying to be funny when they're not, and just overall not likable, especially Cuff and Frey. And if your two main characters are boring, failing at humor, and not likable, that is not a good start, especially in a game like this where they set it up like you're supposed to really care about Frey.
Did I just do that?
Well, definitely with my assistance.
I did not just do that.
We did.
I just moved shit with my mind.
Perhaps our connection has somehow awoken some abilities.
I just moved shit with my mind.
I just keep hearing I.
I just moved shit with my freaking mind! Yeah, okay, that is something I do now. I do magic, talk to sentient cuffs, kill jacked up beasts. You know what? I'll probably fly next.
Now you're just being ridiculous.
Oh, that's too far. Good to know there's a line.
If you could just master these new abilities, with my help, of course.
Did you not just see me take out that gnarly beast?
I feel like it would have been even cooler if Frey would have stayed in New York, somehow got these powers through the cuff she found, and then once she put the cuff on, evil beings started to come down and attack the city. I think that could have been a much cooler setting than what we got here, which was a boring, bland world. The game also had the same side missions over and over again until the end of time, and if you can get me to stop wanting to do side missions, congrats, you deserve a medal. And also, the game had repetitive combat that could be fun at first, but it will quickly get old. This wasn't the worst game I've ever played. There were a few moments here and there, and the traversal was fun at times. But if the world would have been more cool and vast, maybe the traversal would have been the saving grace, but the world just wasn't even close to good enough, and nothing else in the game helps prop it up, and that is why Forspoken will go down as by far the biggest disappointment of 2023.
No! 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 Quiet! 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 I am the asker of questions. You are the answerer. Do you understand?
Lady!
Consort of demons!
Lady!
About the rhyming thing, I don't mind it so much anymore.
I said quiet!
Lady! Calm! Hi. You are one crazy, creepy-ass looking bitch, let me tell you. Don't look at me! At number 8, I have Atomic Heart, also known as the sexy robot twin game. They didn't want me going through it, they just wanted to stick their boobs in my face, but you know what, fair. Or maybe even the Dominatrix Refrigerator Simulator.
What the fuck? Fuck me!
Oh, what a stud! I can't get enough. Jocks, let me tie you to the bed, baby. No need to fight back, sugar. Oh, you're gonna love this.
Once you get by those two facts, you will see that this game is graphically good. It's probably graphically the best game on this list, but it just isn't good anywhere else. The game glitches out all the time and just leaves bosses flailing about instead of giving you any kind of challenge.
Good game. You did good. Wonderful job, guys. Everybody give you a couple rounds of applause. You've done great things here.
The repair drones can be fired into the sun as far as I'm concerned, as the moment the enemy is killed, they fly in and repair it unless you destroy their little base, but then it doesn't even stay destroyed for that long, so you just end up screaming into a pillow instead. The introductory section of the game was just way too freaking long. It felt like it was half the game. There was zero reason for it to be that long. The game does have some humor, and I don't know if I found it funny or if it offended me, but either way, I laughed, so I guess it worked. This just felt like a game where the developers tried, but they focused most of their attention on how horny they could make the game instead of making a good game overall.
How titillating! Rebellious dominant men really turn me on.
Oh, I'll turn you on, all right.
Oh,
There she goes.
Wanda!
I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa! And don't it feel good? At number 7, I have Redfall. Now, I will caveat this by saying I played this game at launch. I know they have made some improvements since then, but I've seen some of those improvements, and it doesn't really save the game for me. This game was pretty much rotten at its core, and it would have taken an absolute miracle to bring it back to life, noted by the very low player base that the game currently has. The version of the game I played, though, was a glitchy mess with all kinds of issues. I also ran into a lot of graphical issues during my time with the game, as the game just looked downright ugly in some areas. Car windows would make breaking sounds when you hit them, even though the window doesn't break at all. I'm loving the sound of breaking glass, even though it's not breaking. Some of the main missions are just a bunch of nothing and completely pointless. The game will tell you you'll have to go find something, you'll go there, fight nothing, pick up the item, bring it back, and the mission is complete. There were a few of these types of missions in the game. The world is just so empty, so repetitive, and so boring to play. When the game ended, I felt like I got slapped in the face by Terrence Hunt and his gigantic hand. And he isn't the only character like that. Most of the NPC characters just look awful, and they have huge hands for no reason. Look at his hands. Holy...
Stop looking at hands.
I can't. There was just not enough effort put into this game at launch, and that is known as Phil Spencer had to come out and apologize for the state of the game at launch. Just disappointing for Arcane and disappointing for Xbox, who really needs a heavy hitter right now. Let's hope that Arcane does a better job on the Blade game, because if you think people gave you shit for this one, it'll be multiplied by a lot if you screw that one up. Hi.
Bob, they got Henry. They abducted him using some sort of ray or beam right through the roof.
This is an absolute invasion. Do you know what that means? They'll abduct everyone in the village.
There's like 4
Humans,
people here, Bob.
animals, and every little insect. They'll
That's
take
fine.
samples of everything.
Can they abduct the
making
fucking cow so I'll
experiments
shut
of
the fuck up?
everyone. This is an extraterrestrial investigation.
At number 6, I have Grey Hill Incident. I always wanted to play a survival horror game rotated around an alien invasion that you either have to combat or survive, and so when they announced this game, I knew it didn't really look that good based on the trailer, but I wanted to have hope because I wanted it to at least be decent, but instead, it was a pile of trash. The voice acting was awful, but sometimes unintentionally hilarious.
Bastard. Get your fucking fingers out of my dirty ass!
Is that Brandon? The fuck are they doing to him? They're all on the same ship. What in the hell should I do now?
Okay. The game is way too dark while also being engulfed in fog, and because of that, you can't see anything. You are just hoping and praying you are walking in the right direction. You do have a pump flashlight you can use, but if you use it around an alien in the area that they're in, they will run at you right away, so most of the time you are stuck running around the dark fog with no clue what you are doing. When you do end up running into the aliens, you will realize that they are probably the most cookie-cutter enemies you will ever see, as you will run into the exact same alien design every single time. Now you may ask yourself, hey, do they have cool alien guns that shoot laser beams and shit? Do they have any kind of cool technology whatsoever? Nah, they just tickle you to death. No! Stop tickling me! Woo! Stop tickling me! Oh! Ah! Motherfucker has a fetish. Now, to combat all the tickling, they give you a gun, but with very minimal ammo to find, which is the best way to take them down, or you can use a baseball bat, which only works when it feels like it, and other times your character will just ignore you and not swing. This was just a game that was a waste of everybody's time and money, and just like every other game from here on out, avoid it at all costs. Unless you want to see the aliens' dance moves, that is. Alien didn't want anything to do with Thriller. He said, I'm fucking out. What? What is she doing? Grandma! What are you doing? Grandma, what are you doing over there? Now is not the time. Grandma! Now is not the time. Can you at least flush the fucking toilet? Because that is disgusting. Let me tell you. That is a... Grandma, did you lay that turd in there? Because that is fucking disgusting. Grow the fuck up. What? What just happened? At number 5, I have Stray Souls, also known as the game with my favorite grandma character of all time. Now, if this game stayed in the house from the beginning of the game the entire time with different variations while Grandma was peeking around corners, this may have been the most unintentionally hilarious game I have played this year, but instead they left the house and made it boring, so the award went to someone else. This game was so janky and so broken that I was shocked I was able to get through it. To be honest, if I didn't have to review the game, I probably wouldn't have finished it at all. So once Daniel, who is the main character, leaves the house due to his sister showing up, who he didn't know was his sister, who is also his neighbor of the house that he just moved into, who he was also talking to on a dating website, chew on that for a second, but she shows up waving her hands around like someone from an insane asylum.
Daniel, no!
No! No! No! Why are you waving your hands like that? What is going on?
And then you are taken to a forest which has the same paths in like 100 different directions with no map to help you figure out where you are. Please give me a map. Grandma, can you give me a map? Fuck you, Grandma. The enemy types in the game are just so bad. They have terrible AI that would just get stuck on everything, and then once they got stuck, they would never get unstuck again. At that point, they just live there.
Help! Help! Help me! Help!
The game just never made sense. At least at the beginning, you were like, oh, Grandma was in some sort of kinky murder cult, but once you leave the house, I don't know what the fuck was going on. The game just kind of lost its way and never really recovered. Sorry, Grandma. Huh. At number 4, I have The Walking Dead Destinies, which is my real award winner for a game that was so bad that it was hilarious. So congrats to them, wear it with honor. The zombies in this game are the most brain-dead enemies you will ever run across in your entire life, and they just fling themselves off cliffs like it's their job. It's the hardest I've laughed all year. I don't even care! I don't even care!
Have to get under that helmet somehow. Gotta destroy the helmet to get to the brain.
That's so funny. They fucking launch their asses off the fucking thing.
The zombies will also get stuck on literally everything. They will get stuck on cars, crates, other zombies' bodies. You name it, they get stuck on it. Now, the game did have a decently good base idea where it would take the Walking Dead show and give you what-if scenarios. Like, what if a fight to the death that happened in the show had a different result? Or what if Carl died from a gunshot wound?
Oh, no. No.
Which happened to me and made me sad because I really wanted to fight zombies as an 11-year-old with the same terrible melee attack animation as everyone else, as all characters had the same knife stab to the head and weapon swinging maneuver. I was never able to enjoy the what-if aspect of the game though, because the rest of the game was just awful. The combat, the character models, and the cutscenes were horrible. The cutscenes specifically, like my lord. I'm unsure what the developers were thinking here, but I have a feeling they were probably rushed on this by Game Mail Entertainment, who is the publisher of this game. They are one of the worst publishers in gaming right now, if not in the history of gaming, and we are not done with them on this list. One thing I've always said about the games like this is they suck and they piss me off, and why were they made? But It really does give you a great appreciation for those games, like an Alan Wake or like a Spider-Man and stuff like that. So when you have people coming out and making YouTube videos calling Alan Wake 2 a boring walking simulator, or calling Spider-Man 2 a broken mess, with which neither of those statements are true, it's like those are people that do not play games like this, and so they think Game of the Year contenders are bad games, when in reality they don't know what a fucking bad game is. At number 3, I have Quantum Error. The game that I definitely raged at the most this year, and possibly the most I've raged at a game in the last few years, and that is why the Suffering video on the channel was an insane hour-and-a-half long, so if you wanted to see me lose my mind for an hour-and-a-half, that video is for you. This game could fuck off so hard, and I'm actually shocked that there are people out there that thought this game was great. I mean, to each their own, but I just don't see it. The characters in this game are just not good, not likable, and Jacob, who is the main character, may be the worst SWAT team leader of all time.
Don't move! Stay back!
What are you gonna
Sir,
do?
room is
Blow
ready
us
for
up?
four.
You be doing me a favor!
No one is going anywhere. You're right.
Bro, fucking
We're
shoot
all
him!
responsible.
You have 48 guns on him. Shoot him mid-sentence.
We can solve the issue at
Don't
hand.
you try to get sympathetic with me.
Right now, boom!
Stand by. You
Dead.
people
Dead.
do
I have
this to
just
us.
saved people.
You little
You're welcome.
robots.
What? Shoot! These are the worst SWAT. This is the worst SWAT team. No wonder he didn't put any faith in you. He said you have what it takes. You say yes, and you just let him blow it up. You know what you don't have? What it takes. As Jacob became as big of a failure as the game itself, he somehow became a fireman who was then sent on a search and rescue mission to save the people of this base who have gone missing, instead of attempting to save me from buying this game. The enemy types in this game were awful, and the combat and gunplay was pretty terrible overall outside a few gun designs. This game pretty much ticked no boxes for me, and I was in agony through most of it. You would think, oh, it's an indie game, so it's probably only like 5 hours of bullshit. No, I had to suffer through 20 plus hours of pure torture to beat this game, and it was one of the worst gaming experiences of my life. Now, I know some people will say, oh, but the game was only made by 4 people, so they shouldn't be judged so harshly. Well, guess what? When someone charges $60 for a game, it is going to be treated like a $60 game. The developers of Cuphead were only a few people too, and you don't see them shitting out garbage. Hold people to higher standards. And don't worry about Team Kill Media who developed this game, because they made the game on such a low budget that I think they probably would have made their money back even if I was the only person who bought it. And because of this, they are making a trilogy. Now, will I play the future games? Yes, because I hate myself. Do I want to? Hell no. This game doesn't need, nor does it deserve a sequel. I don't care if they sequel bait it at the end. I'm fine never knowing. Let it die. Fuck! Alright guys, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Alright guys, I grabbed a snack too. Honey barbecue seasoned mix. So how's your guys' day going? Yay! Yay! At number 2, I have The Lord of the Rings, Gollum, or as their Twitter account called it in their ChatGPT apology, The Lord of Ring, Gollum. The story and pretty much the entire game is garbage. You may ask, does Gollum go out into the vast world that the source material set up and go on an adventure to find the ring? Or maybe it's an origin story on how Gollum became the way he was. Nah, he is just a slave to orcs stuck in a mountain the whole game while having that dumb look on his face the whole time. This is not Gollum. This is Gollum. And to fuck up your own main character's character design when you have movies and even other games to reference is nuts to me. I mean, how hard can it be to make Gollum? Apparently it's really hard. And it's not just the character design they screwed up, because Gollum sounds nothing like Gollum in this game.
It was ours. Oh, precious. My birthday present. It came to me on my birthday.
So I've heard.
Orcs couldn't see us. No one could see us. Not even nasty wizards.
It's almost like they didn't even try to hire an actor that could do the Gollum voice. Outside that, the game glitched out so much on me during my playthrough, including being stuck in a game over screen, which forced me to restart and do the whole level over again, because it just kept loading me into that screen.
And then...
Am I going the wrong way or something? It just loaded me into a game over. We are like 15 minutes in and it's already broken. The textures everywhere are terrible. The NPCs are awful and useless, and when they walk, they hover above the ground. The climbing and swinging animations are just terrible, and the enemy AI is also pretty brain dead. This is just a game that should have never existed. A poor excuse for a licensed game that should have never came out, or at the very least went to a developer that could do the game justice. And even if the developer of the game, Dalek Entertainment, didn't shut down shortly after the launch of this game, there was no fixing it. Just a rotten game that was dead at launch and made Gollum really sad. At number 1, I have Skull Island: Rise of Kong. If you thought Gollum's graphics were bad, let me tell you, this is a game that looks straight out of the Nintendo 64 era, and even on the Nintendo 64, people would have thought this game was shit. Now, this is another game published by our friends at Game Mill Entertainment. Worst publisher of the year by far, congrats to them for that. I didn't even get to play the Avatar Quest for Peace game that they published, but I also heard that game was fucking terrible. I'm unsure who keeps giving them licenses, but please stop doing it. I beg of you, I can only take so much. This game has the worst level designs, worst combat, and worst facial animations I have ever seen in my life. I spent the entire game looking at my monitor like King Kong's mom looked at Gaw. Just a shockingly terrible game. But at least he has his repetitive 3-move combo that you will use repeatedly the entire game. Right, left, clap. Random backfist. I also had the game crash on me 2 or 3 times during a boss fight as I was about to beat the boss. Almost like the game wanted to pad its runtime with built-in crashes that made me just want to throw my controller across the room. Bro, seriously? Is the game unbeatable? It crashed when I was about to beat it! You son of a bitch! I'm gonna kick this game's ass! I want cutscene! I'm so upset! I see you, Iguana Bee, you pieces of shit. Submit your stupid report. One more try. If it crashes on me when I beat him one more fucking time, it's over. Game beat. I have beat the fucking game. There is no more game to be beat because the game doesn't want me to beat it. Like, as I beat the boss, the game crashes. That's how they pad their runtime. Built-in crashes. I beat it 3 fucking times! Where's my trophy? Half a fucking hour ago! There were also climbing and jumping mechanics that worked only when it felt like it, as sometimes Kong would just get stuck on different things. The game was also about 2 to 4 hours to beat, which was mercy as far as I'm concerned, but at the same time at launch, they charged $40. Game Mill knew what state this game was in, as they were the ones who gave Iguana Bee only a year to make it. I mean, even $10 would have been too much, but they had the audacity to charge $40 for this pile of trash. Game Mill has proved this year that they don't care about gamers, they don't care about licenses, they don't care about anything but money at any cost, and 2023 has proved that. So fuck Game Mill and fuck this game. So those were my top 10 worst games of 2023. It was a ride for me this year. I did not expect to play this many games on that level of bad. And there was even more bad games that I played that didn't make the list that could have easily made the list for anyone else. So I understand if you wouldn't have put a game on this list and you would have substituted for a different game, I understand. Because unfortunately, as many good games as there were this year, there were just as many bad games. But what were your worst games of 2023? Did you agree with me? Did you not? Let me know in the comment section below. But that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully 2024 is better, less bad games. Wishful thinking, I know, but let's hope for the best. Bye, guys.